Now there comes a question, just how many sales has Aquatica done? Now I've done a little bit of research on how to kind of figure out sales, because if you don't know, Steam got sued a while back about publicly putting the sales charts for their games and their DLCs. So there's no way to actually officially really tell anymore. So I have two different methods that I'm going to show you on how I'm going to calculate it, and one of them is a website that has the average sales, but I don't know if it's always accurate. So I'm going to do two different ways just to kind of show you two different methods. So first, let's start with that website. The first website is called SteamDB. Now, from some of the Reddit forums that I have seen, is that it's not always accurate. It just goes off of based on how many public profiles are made for that game. So, for example, it's got Counter-Strike as the #1 top-selling game in the world. Even though it's free, it's because it sells stuff in-game. Now, I completely believe this because for some reason, so many people love this game. I don't know how people like it. I personally hate it, but sorry to all the people that do like it. But yeah, so this is the biggest top-selling game ever. By the way, it's not just Steam, that's ever. But this just goes over only the Steam games. So when you look up Aquatica, it will show you the DLC. And as you can see here, has 1,000 reviews sitting at 18%, which is not the best. But if you come over here to charts, it has a number. Now it's sitting at 471 in top sellers. So if you go to this chart and we scroll down and we try to find 471, which should be about right here. As you can see, you have two games that are above it and below it, which is Overcooked 2 and Victoria 3. I've not heard of any of those. But if you look up how many copies were sold, the total, okay, it's hard to find it, but it says about $100 million. Now let's go look at the other game, just to kind of get a reference, just to see. Okay, no, it's also, oh, no, here we go. The base game has generated over $30 million in revenue and sold over 800,000 copies. So two very different numbers. Okay, wait. No, here we go. The Reddit users, okay, that's based off of Reddit, but 75,000 copies, 800,000 copies. So yeah, I'm not going to trust this chart because, it's in the middle of these two very different games. But technically speaking, that would mean, I don't know, let's just get an average. I don't even know. Let's say 400,000 copies, just to kind of just put it straight in the middle. So if we go to our calculator, you do 400,000 times what it was sold for, $8.99. You get $3.5 million, almost $3.6 million. Now, I don't fully buy this, but for ARK, it wouldn't shock me because ARK has made a lot more money than a lot of people actually realize. A lot of bigger maps like Genesis Part 1 and Part 2 made a significant amount of money. So it wouldn't shock me, but I'm going to do it a different way as well. And that is going by the reviews of the game, because it also says here how many reviews that it had, which is 1,508 reviews. This video is sponsored by Mitra 9. Mitra 9 is a non-alcoholic supplement that quite literally makes you feel good. These drinks give you a high, but without the impairment. They have a ton of great flavors, my favorite being root beer. If you're looking for a new drink to replace your coffee in the morning, Mitra is the way to go. Simply go to mitra9.com and use my code OUTCAST for 25% off your entire order. Now, back to the video. So I went to ChatGPT and kind of did a little bit of a calculation here as well, just to kind of go on it. Basically what it says is it gave me the option to use SteamDB, but not fully reliable, even though it says the most reliable estimator. That was clearly not accurate there. Most average games are 2 to 5% review to sale ratio. So yeah, based off of this math, 10,000 reviews divided by 0.02. So we got that. Now let's try and do the math on this really quick. So we do 1,502 reviews times, what was it again? Oh, sorry, divided by 0.02, and you get 75,000, which, if you put it next to this game, 75,000 copies. So, I mean, just saying, I think that's pretty accurate. I'm not sure why Victoria 3 was right here. considering it says it sold 800,000 copies, which I don't really buy. I don't know what game that this even is, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not finding any other information on how many games that on how many copies that this game sold, so I'll just kind of look past that. But I mean, there's kind of your answer, which is 75,000 copies. For an ARK map, that is the lowest amount of copies that has ever been sold on launch month. And that's not like launch day. I mean, they've done pretty crazy sales on launch day with some of their older maps. But for the first month, it's been about half a month so far. That's pretty bad numbers. 75,000 times 8.99 average sale price. And you only get $600,000. That's pretty rough. So Snail Games invested who knows how much money just to make roughly less than $700,000. And again, it's just speculations. It's not entirely true, but based off of just some sales reports and stuff that I've seen, and the ratios with the reviews, it certainly can be possible. But you do have to keep in mind for the other currencies as well, because other currencies, when converted to US, are not really worth as much. But your two biggest sellers are US and EU. Those are your two biggest sellers usually for these games. And EU is, I guess, it's a couple of these. It's not just all of it. Here, okay, never mind. Here's Euro. So actually, Euro is higher than USD technically. But yeah, so I mean, there's your charts right there. Wow, that's a pretty bad day for the reviews. But it is stabling. No, it's still not stabling actually. But yeah, so there's your answer. I mean, it's not proof, but it's pretty dang close. And it matched up with that chart with the other game, which was Overcooked. Matched pretty well with that, almost on point with the copies sold. So there's your answer. But yeah, so it's probably going to go down quite a bit because of all of the refunds that are going to be happening here soon, because the ARK Aquatica dev team have completely ruined ARK Survival Evolved, and you can't even function and play it. I'll prove that again in this video really quick. So here, I'm going to load it up just to show you proof that ARK Survival Evolved is not functioning. It functions barely, but you have to wait about 10 to 15 minutes just to load into something, which is a problem. And that's if you can even get your buttons to function. So, bit of a problem. All right, so here we are. As you can see, buttons work for a second, right? See, everything's working great for the first about 15 seconds. After those 15 seconds, everything breaks. And, well, it actually seems to be working a little better right now. Oh, no, there it goes. Okay. Yep, so it breaks pretty much after 15 to 20 seconds. As you can see, I'm getting literally less than 1 frame per second right now in the main menu. Not to mention that loading into single player, which has always been a very fast thing, by the way. Servers, yes, they do take time. Single player took 13 minutes and 50 something seconds. I don't know, I forgot. But 13 minutes to load into a single player save, which is absolutely outrageous. I mean, I don't know how the dev team hasn't fixed this within, 24 hours. It's been 2 days since this update came out, and they still haven't fixed it. It's ridiculous. You can't even literally function to play ARK. I'm still frozen on this menu right now, by the way. And just to show proof, oh, I can't access my home menu. Just to show proof that ARK isn't actually frozen. Where's ARK? Here's ARK. As you can see, it's only using 25% of my memory, so it's not frozen at all. And when you try to Alt F4 ARK, it won't crash. Like it doesn't listen, which is just insane. But I feel bad to all the people that are currently stuck on ARK and you have to just reboot your computer, because I know I've been there, done that. It sucks. But yeah, definitely a massive massive problem with this game, and the game doesn't even function. So all right, so here are score shorts just for a comparison, sitting at a 76% review rate, which is pretty phenomenal actually. That's pretty great. The other 30% are probably just mad because it is a desert map. It's a pretty difficult map just in general. But if we do the same calculations off of 5,000 reviews, Let's do, okay, so that, and then do divided by 0.0 is 2. You get 200,000 copies, which this is just based off of Steam, not including console and everything else, because Aquatica is strictly on Steam. So this is just Steam, but you can probably multiply this by 5 or 6, just because, you know, Xbox and PlayStation have significantly more players than Steam. You do that times 15, not 20. 15, you get $3.9 million, almost $4 million off of Scorched Earth. So yeah, not looking too good for Aquatica. And then let's also times this by 5 just for the other platforms, and you get $19 million, which they probably still made more than that. But yeah, it kind of just shows you how much Snail Games lost with Aquatica. Aquatica ain't looking too good, so it might make a comeback, you never know. But in my honest opinion, I don't think so. I think it's going to have to end up getting refunded to everybody, just because the map doesn't even function. But yeah, just let me know some feedback down below about what you guys think about this. Is this a problem? Should they fix it? Should we get refunds? It's up to you. Just let me know. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching.